ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் டைரக்டா.
இருங்க.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
இல்ல வரும். இருங்க. Yeah, Mathangi, you can start now.
शुभ संध्या. अस्माकं संस्कृतवाणी कार्यक्रमाय सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. वयम् ईश्वर प्रार्थयामः यत् अस्माकं भक्तिं व्यक्तं करोतु. अद्य कुमारी नवनीता प्रार्थना गीतं गायिष्यति. कुमारी नवनीता is disciple of Kanchipuram Srimati Padma Mami, also learning Veena from Srimati Vijaya Mami, learning Devaram from Shri Sriram Parasuran, and learning Shastriya Sangeeta from Srimati Shri Vidya Mami. Swagatam Navneetha.
Namaskaram. Kamalambasam Rakshatu Mam Shri Kamalambasam Rakshatu Mam Kamala Nagara Nivasini Amba Kamalambasam Rakshatu Mam Kamala Nagara Nivasini Sumanasaraditabjamukhi Sundaramana Priyakara Sakhi Sumanasaraditabjamukhi Sundaramana Priyakara Sakhi Sumanasaraditabjamukhi Sundaramana Priyakara Sakhi Kamala Jovanda Bodha Sukhi Kantadara Panchara Sukhi Kamala Jovanda Bodha Sukhi Kantadara Panchara Sukhi Kamalambasam Rakshatu Mam Kamala Nagara Nivasini Tripura Bhakteshwari Amba Tripura Adhichakteshwari Animadi Siddhishwari Nityakameshwari Amba Tripura Adhichakteshwari Animadi सिद्धीश्वरी नित्यकामेश्वरी प्रीतिपूर त्रैलोक्य मोहन चक्रवर्ती प्रकटयोगिनी प्रीतिपूर त्रैलोक्य मोहन चक्रवर्ती प्रकटयोगिनी सुररिपुमाहि शासुरादिमर्दिनी सुररिपुमाहि शासुरादिमर्दिनी निगमपुराणादिसंवेदिनी त्रिपुरेशी गुरुगुह जननी त्रिपुरभञ्जन रञ्जनी मधुरिपु सहोदरी तलोदरी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी महेश्वरी त्रिपुरेशी गुरुगुह जननी त्रिपुरभञ्जन रञ्जनी मधुरिपु सहोदरी तलोदरी त्रिपुर सुन्दरी महेश्वरी कमला अम्बा रक्षतु मां कमला नगर निवासी अम्ब कमलाम्बासं रक्षतु मां
Ativa Atmanubhuti Purnam Gayanam. As usual, a beautiful singing, Navneetha. You're always a consistent performer in our group, in our program. Pranams to Padma Mami. Thank you so much. Dhanyavadaha, Navneetha. Swagatam Ramakrishna Mahodaya for Subhashitam.
Is my audio at least hearable?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can hear.
Okay. This Subhashitam is regarding a bee trapped inside a lotus flower. It had choices, but it did not make use of the choices. It took a chance. What is the chance? You know, the drinker, or they always try to take up to the last sip. Same way the smoker. Like this, the bee wanted to take the entire nectar from the flower without thinking that it is the evening and it is going to, sun is going to set. When the sun sets, all the flowers, especially the lotus, will close up its petals. So once it is closed, the bee will be trapped. Like this, a bee is trapped inside a tree. It took chance. It did not make use of his wisdom of choice. That is, before, when the halfway the sun was setting, it should have come out having satisfied, taken the nectar. The Subhashitam goes like this. Ratrir Gamishyati Bhavishyati Suprabhatam Vaswanudeshyati Asishyati Pankajasrihi Ittam Vichintayati Posagate Vireshe Ha Hanta Hanta Nalinim Bhaja Ujjahare Posagate Vireshe. That is, the honey bee trapped inside. It is thinking like this. I am trapped inside. Ratri Gamishyati. the night will disappear. Bhavishyati suprabhatam, the day will come. Vasvanu deshyati, the sun will rise. Hasishyati pankaja srihi. Hasishyati here is to be taken opening up of the petal. When the petals open up, the flower looks very beautiful. So it receives the sunlight. And then when it fully opens, the honey bee can come out and escape from the trap. Pittam vichintayati posagate direfe. At that time, what happens? Yeah, elephant, a playful elephant or a red elephant was passing through that lake. So at that time, what it did? It caught hold of the lotus stem, that is Nalinim. Go posagate direfe ha hanta Nalinim gaja ujjahara. So it plucked the entire lotus with the stem and threw it off. Like this, there is no chance for that bee to escape because it is already uprooted by the elephant. When there is once that means the plant itself has died. When the plant has died, there is no chance of its petals opening and it is escaping from the death trap. So what does it mean is when you have choices, you have to cleverly using the wisdom suitable to the circumstances at that time, what is required to escape, that you should do. Whereas this foolish bee, it took a chance. It thought, okay, little more I will drink. By the time everything has gone. So let us understand that hereafter we will take choices, not chance. Chance is only luck. Only 1% may succeed. Thank you.
Wonderful message, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha. But honestly, let us all get trapped into the Samskrita Bhasha and let us not escape from it. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much.
That is a good choice.
Definitely. We should not leave it and we should not escape from
Okay.
it. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji.
श्रीमती विसाली कृष्णन् अस्माकं सनातन धर्मस्य रक्षणार्थम् अस्माकं समाजस्य सेवां कुर्वन् अस्ति। स्वागतं विसाली कृष्णन्, संबोधन प्रस्तुत करेंगे। स्वागतम्।
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। अद्यतनस्य संस्कृतवाणी कार्यक्रमस्य हार्दिक स्वागतम्। अद्यतनं श्रीमती मातङ्गी महोदय सञ्चारिरूपेण अस्ति। स्वागतं माता। स्वागतं कुमारी नवनीता, यः प्रार्थनागीतम् एतवत् दिव्य गायति स्म। सुभाषितम् अस्य सुवाक्यं सर्वदा अस्माकं मनः शान्तिं कुर्वन्ति। स्वागतं श्री रामकृष्ण महोदय। स्वागतं डॉक्टर सुश्रुता महोदय। भगवद गीता पाठार्थं स्वागतं अभिनव किदम्बी महोदय, यः नरसिंह पुराणं कथयितुं गच्छति। श्लोक प्रार्थं कुमारी स्निग्धा स्वागतम्। मनो विज्ञानं टू प्रज्ञा कल्प आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस फ्रॉम एंशियंट विजडम व्याख्यार्थं प्रभु पतूरी महोदयस्य स्वागतम्। शांति मंत्रस्य स्वागतं श्री सुंदरकृष्णन् महोदय। अद्यतनं कार्यक्रमे पुनः सर्वेषां स्वागतं करोमि।
धन्यवादः विसाली जी, थैंक यू सो मच। भगवद गीता पाठनेन पापं दूरीकृत्य वैकुंठे जीवनं प्रयच्छति। डॉक्टर सुश्रुता जी भगवद गीता से पाठ प्रस्तुत करेंगे। Assistant Professor at Amrita University, Coimbatore, has done his PhD in Yoga and Yajna, studied Vedantam from traditional Gurukulam system. Swagatam Sushrutha ji.
नमः सर्वेभ्यः। प्रायेण मम वचांसि श्रोतुं प्रभवन्ति इति अहं चिन्तयामि। श्रूयते खलु यदहं वदामि? हा, अस्तु, धन्यवादः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। सर्वेभ्यः अपि पुनः स्वागतम्। नवनीतायाः श्राव्यं सङ्गीतं श्रुत्वा किञ्चित् भगवद्गीतायाः अपि विषये वयं ज्ञातुं प्रयत्नं कुर्मः। This is an occasion always that rejoicing the mind when you listen to these kinds of kalas. All the kalas are meant only to rejoice, to regain the energy that we have. In fact, Bharatanaट्य Shastram itself, where dance, drama, and music, these three kalas are put together. In fact, many people are unaware of Natyam to be only doing some drama on the stage. But dance, drama, and music together, we call it as Bharatanaट्य Shastra. So we have every session for Samskrita Vaani, Bharatanaट्य Shastra being presented through singing, through bhajan, some prayers. So this is an occasion for all the participants of the program to regain the energy that we have within us. With that, let me move on to the one of the chapters that we have dwelled in the last class. We were talking about Jignasa of the Vedanta, Jignasa of yet another Shastras. Today we will move upon to the 6th chapter, where Krishna tries to portray the content connected to yoga and Sankhya, in some sections directly, in some others indirectly. So people claim the Sankhya Yoga, all the yogas are available in Bhagavad Gita, but in what form, in what way, that are all connected? Different types of yogas are connected. So there they have, in general, Karma Yoga is there because Krishna asks Arjuna to fight. Fighting as Arjuna's duty, Krishna asked him to perform his duty. So this way, people say the Karma Yoga exists. Then Jnana Yoga also is there because Jignasa we discussed in the last session. Jnatum Ichha Jignasa and Brahmavastu Jnana Jignasa eva Jnana Yogaha iti. Tarhi Rajayogaha api asti va iti prashne sati satyam asti vidyate. Katham ti chet Rajayoge ete vishayaha prastutaha. These are the content of Raja Yoga. And yet another name for Raja Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga. So what is this Ashtanga Yoga? Patanjali Yoga Sutras are nothing but Ashtanga Yoga. We have Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. These are Ashta Angas of Yoga, and otherwise these are called Raja Yoga. Then, does Bhagavad Gita incorporate even Raja Yoga within it? Yes, directly. And how do we see it in Bhagavad Gita? It is the 6th chapter where it provides Yama and Niyama indirectly in some other chapters, but here directly there are some shlokas which are saying how to perform, not in a straight way, but it says, how to sit. Okay, Shiraha and Griva and backside have to be in straight line. You have to focus on the breath. You have to focus the breath towards the higher personality traits, that is our own manas, and manas has to raise itself to nididhyasana. And what is this nididhyasana? It is dhyana, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi finally. Therefore, we have some shlokas talking about Raja Yoga directly. But in the beginning, Krishna has to initiate the dialogue with Arjuna, contextualizing the previous discussion. Okay, previous discussion is you have to keep, these are the injunctions of Arjuna, that he says, bahyan kritva bahirbahyan. Okay, all the senses, keep them outward and remain silent and be inward. So it goes to the highest level of our own internal existence. So how to do this? And in the beginning, Krishna says, Aru rukshoho munehi yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudhasya tasyaiva shamaha karanam uchyate. Karma and shamaha. Let us understand these two. These are third shloka concepts that are available in Bhagavad Gita. Arurukshoho munehe yogam. Okay. Arudhum ichha aruruksha. As we said, jnatum ichha jignasa. Similarly, arodhum ichha aruruksha. One who wants to climb something, that person is called arurukshuhu. Arodhum ichuhu arohanam. Arohanam is ascending. Arohanam is climbing. Someone who tries to climb the ladders of one's own sadhana, that person is called arurukshuhu. Then arudha is one who has already achieved. For example, in order to come to the first floor, if you assume there are 8 steps, one who is in the ground floor is arurukshuhu, who wants to climb to come to the first floor. But who is already in the first floor, that person is called arudha. Arurukshuhu and arudha. For these two people, there are 2 different tools to achieve further progress in Jnana Yoga. So what are these 2 tools? If I want to climb the ladder of my sadhana, then I am arurukshuhu. For arurukshu, karma is karana. Karma is the tool. Meaning, I want to achieve something, then karma becomes my tool, and karma alone remains until I rise to the first floor. I rise to the arudha level. So then what are the types of karma? When we get into the lessons of karma, we have different types of karma. Okay, nitya karma, naimittika karma, and kami karma. Okay, nitya karma that we do every day, that specifically Sandhya Vandanam becomes nitya karma. And naimittika karma, all the festivities. Okay, shortly we are going to have Navaratri. Shortly we are going to have Vijayadashami, then Ekadashi. So in fact, Sanatana Dharma is filled with all these naimittika karma and restarting, resuming our sankalpas again and again. What do we do actually in all naimittika karma? I recite all Panchanga on that specific day, and I say, for Paramatma Prityartham, I will do something. So Paramatma Priti will be one and only common sankalpa with all the naimittika karma, all the parvas that we celebrate, all the festivities that we have ingrained in our culture. Along with that, we have small, our own desires. Okay, let me have exams completed. Let me have more marks. Let me have a child. Let me achieve little Lakshmi. Let me have this position. So these are occasionally continuing and associating, but what is common across? It is Paramatma Prityartham. Finally, we say Paramatma Prityartham. But all that we should remember, it is part of Karma Yoga only. It is not Jnana Yoga. Even then, when we do Sankalpa, Sankalpa is a kind of smaller, short-term goals. All the Sankalpas are short-term goals. There may be long-term goal, that is Jnana, to know. But all the festivities we have short-term goals. Okay, and then this is Nitya Karma and Naimittika Karma, then Kamya Karma. In fact, you can associate the short-term goals to Kamya Karma also. When Dasharatha performed Putra Kameshti Yaga, that was Kamya Karma. When Dharmaraya performed Ashwamedha Yaga by the end of all that yajna that he performed, and when there was no rain, Rishyashringa performed Varuna Yaga. Okay, wherever Rishyashringa came, it was about to rain. Therefore, it is all put together. It is Karma Yoga. Okay, for Arurukshu, one who wants to achieve one level, upgraded position, karma is the sadhana, karma is the tool. There is nothing, meaning I have a desire to progress, then karma becomes my tool. What if I already have achieved one level progressed? Then for me, shama is the tool. What is this shama? No, shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, shanti, samadhanam. These are shat sadhana. In Vedanta we hear. Okay, there the shama is very, very specific. Okay, dama is bahirindriya nigraha. Bahirindriya nigraha damaha. Then antarindriya nigraha shamaha. Okay, bahirindriya nigraha damaha, antarindriya nigraha shamaha. Shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, that all continue. What is this dhamma that I told as part of this shama and dhamma? We have 10 senses, 10 indriyas, jnanendriyas and karmendriya. So when I am trying to master these 10 senses, this is called dhamma. Okay, dhamanam kuryat. You have to keep all these senses under your control, meaning that is what is dhamma. So what Krishna says in this shloka, shamaha. So what is this shama? Antarindriya nigraha. All the 10 senses are bahirindriya. They are engaged to grasp the external universe. But we have antarindriya also. What is that antarindriya? It is manas. Okay? When you have control over the manas, that is called shamaha. So furthermore, the 6th chapter discusses what is this shama, how to control the antarindriya, that is the manas, how to keep check at balances of how it functions, and what are the strategies that one has to engage the mind to have control. That is what is shamaha, is the summary of the 6th chapter that I just gave a hint of what will be the next session will be around talking about shamaha, how to focus. And then we have asanas and pranayama. We will see it in the next meeting that we will have next month. So for all the opportunity, I thank and I'm indebted all the time for organizers. Dhanyawadaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyawadaha, Sushrutha ji. Always a crystal and clear explanation. As always, I say, this session is always a blessed one. Every Samskrita Vani program. And definitely Krishna Paramatma will be so preeti whenever you deliver a presentation and when we hear it. And definitely it's a challenging task to control our manas, and we are all fighting with it. Still, we don't know. Maybe on hearing speeches like this, definitely we will get that maturity. Dhanyawadaha, Sushrutha ji. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Dhanyawadaha.
श्लोकपाठेन अन्तः शान्तिः भवति. स्निग्धा शङ्कर कामाक्षी स्तोत्रं पाठं करिष्यति. Snigda Shankar learning music from Srimati Padma Mami. She had recited 30 Tirupavai Pasurams during Margari month, studying 6th standard. Her interests includes dancing, athletics, reading and drawing. Swagatam, Snigda.
ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமக. எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். நான் இன்னைக்கு காமாட்சி ஸ்தோத்திரம் சொல்ல போறேன். कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते कामदानैकदक्षे स्थिते भक्तपक्षे कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते कामारिकान्ते कुमारी कालकालस्य भर्तु करे दत्तहस्ते कामाय कामप्रदात्री कामकोटिस्तपूज्ये चिरं देहि मह्यम् कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते श्रीचक्रमध्ये वसन्ति भूतरक्षपिशाचाति दुष्टान् हरन्ति श्रीकामकोट्यां ज्वलन्ति कामहीनं सुगम्यां भजे देहि वाचम् कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते इन्द्रादिमान्ये सुधन्ये ब्रह्म विश्वादिवन्द्ये गिरीन्द्रस्य कन्ये मान्यानमन्ये त्वदन्या मानितान्द्रिन्द्र भजे मातरं त्वां कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते सिंहादिरूढे नमस्ते साधुहृत्पद्मगूढे हताशेषमूढे रूढं हरत्वं गदं मे कण्ठशब्दं देहि भगवदिनि त्वं कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते कल्याणदात्रीं जनेत्रीं कञ्चपत्राभनेत्रा कलानाथवक्त्रा श्रीस्कन्दपुत्रां सुवस्त्रां सच्चरित्रां शिवे त्वां भजे देहि वाचम् कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते भक्त्या कृतं स्तोत्ररत्नं दीक्षितानन्तरामे देवी प्रसादात् नित्यं पठेत् भक्तिपूतं सत्यसम्पत्सिद्धिं भवेदेव नूनम् कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते कामदानैकदक्षे स्थिते भक्तपक्षे कामाक्षि मातर्नमस्ते இந்த நல்ல ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுத்ததுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ். நமஸ்காரம்.
Firstly, appreciating your confidence, perfect pronunciation, and you're also a consistent performer in our group. Thank you, Snigda. Dhanyavadaha. Again, pranams to Padma Mami. Thank you so much, Kanna. ரொம்ப அழகா இருந்தது. Shri Abhinav Kidambi Narasimha Puranasya Vishe Vakshyati. Abhinav Mahodaya is a MTech Medical Nanotechnology graduate, has completed MA Sanskrit, has studied basics of Samskritam under Shri O.R. Devanatha Swami, has international experience in STEM research, practitioner of Yoga Shastra, currently PhD scholar in Sanskrit. He teaches Sanskrit, Yoga Shastra, Indian philosophy, Indian culture and heritage. Swagatam Abhinav Mahodaya.
Namaste. It's very difficult to always talk in this specific audience, in front of this audience specifically, because you're already being flooded by so much of wonderful wisdom by the wonderful speakers before me. And I'm sure there are other wonderful speakers speaking after me as well. Especially we have Prabhav ji and also we have Sushrutha ji who are already part of this meeting. And I'm sure that what I'm saying will not be valuable enough to match their skills. Nevertheless, because we are here I will try to share a little bit. If you remember from our previous presentation, that is last month, I am sure that many of us may forget, even whatever we had in the morning, we forget in the afternoon for breakfast, and we think what we have eaten is not sufficient. So it's very difficult to remember something that is 1 month old. So this is a very difficult activity that I'm going to engage in, but still let me try. So if you remember from the previous presentation, what I had shared, I was talking about an introduction. It was an upodghata to Purana itself in general. But it becomes necessary for us to deal with Puranas from the perspective of two different, what you call viewpoints. So what is the first viewpoint? The first viewpoint is that of a sadhaka. That is the person who wishes to know more about the Shastra, wishes to know how to take this information and implement it in our own life. So this is a very difficult thing to do because most of us are more aware of things associated with Vyavaharika. When we want to move towards Adhyatmika, we assume that it is something that is to be done only by old people, pensioners who are having white hair or no teeth. But we should remember that Adhyatmika is not disconnected from Vyavaharika. Adhyatmika is fundamentally a process which will help you work with Vyavaharika with better understanding. So this Adhyatmika, Vyavaharika separation is a problematic issue. Only when we realize both of them are deeply interconnected. It is like when you want to have some kind of, say, a chart item. You want to have pav bhaji, for example. You have this pav and bhaji separately. In reality, when you are having pav bhaji, you are not having pav separately, bhaji separately. You are always having both together. So only when pav and bhaji are together, you will have the taste. That is why they are presented together. In the same way, this Adhyatmika and Vyavaharika are not supposed to be disconnected from each other. When we work with Adhyatmika, we should remember that we are going to use it for our Vyavaharika interaction. When we are working with Vyavaharika, we should remember that it is only possible when we have Adhyatmika. This kind of intermingling, this close association that both these domains have to always be respected, and we should always keep this in mind when we are dealing with anything, especially when we are dealing with Shastra, especially when we are dealing with Bharatiya Jnana Parampara. Everything will be presented in an encoded form. This is something that you already know perhaps, because there will always be some kind of encoding. This encryption will always be presented. So this encryption can only be handled when you have some jnana which is because of your adhyayana or because of your anusthana, some sadhana that you have will help you to understand a little better. Of course, when you have an acharya or a guru, that person will lead you towards the goal with more elegance. So that I'm not saying that you should have an acharya, you should not have an acharya. I'm not saying you should have anusthana, you should not have anusthana. I'm only telling you that all of these will eventually help. If today you do not have any of these, maybe tomorrow you will get it. So the only thing that I'm saying is ultimately we are all going to the final destination, the one singular final destination. Each person will give different names for it, but we need not bother about these small differences. So why am I talking about this? This is because we are going to deal with Purana. And in this Purana, we have to remember that there are two types of Puranas. There is one Mahapurana, there is one Upapurana. This is what is traditionally understood. But beyond the Upapurana, we also have the Sthala Puranas. We have these Sthala Mahatmyas. We also have certain other Puranas which are not considered to even be called Puranas. So, for example, I was talking to a researcher from Delhi who is working on something to do with Bengal history. So when I asked her what she was working on, she told me I'm working on Purana. I asked her which Purana. She says it is on something to do with Vanga Purana, some kind of Purana associated with the country of Vangadesha. So when we talk about Purana, we generally assume that it is only about Mahapuranas, which are talking about the Devatas, Upapuranas, which are talking about some other Devatas, minor Devatas. Then you might think that Sthala Puranas are there. So the Sthala Purana concept is very popular in the Dakshina Bharata. In Dakshina Bharata, we have certain mandiras and Tirtha Kshetras where we will have a special historical text or some kind of a narration which will talk about the importance, the Mahatmya of that Sthala. So there they will talk about Sthala Purana. But we should understand that this Purana concept itself is not something that is crystallized. It was never touched upon. So once the author has composed certain verses, certain chapters, and certain books, nobody is going to add anything to it, or nobody is going to edit something. We should remember that the Purana itself is going to be a very interesting stream of thought, which is constantly edited. It is constantly expanded. Constantly, it is going to be made better and better. So this is like a cooking recipe. So when you have a recipe for making anything, you should remember that maybe in the initial stages, you only want a few tastes, a few flavors. But as you start having better experiences, you start going to other cuisines. You go to Italian cuisine, you go to Maharashtrian cuisine, you go and eat something in Sri Lanka, and then come back. Now you want to incorporate that in your own everyday cooking. So you will notice that the flavor will change. There will be an increase, or rather, there is some kind of diversity that you have experienced, and you want to incorporate that into your own cuisine, whatever you are having at home. In the same way, we will see that in Puranas, there is some kind of incorporation, a constant updation, upgradation keeps happening. They will take certain concepts, certain principles, certain narrations from other places, and they will try to expand this. So this is like a continuous process. Once it is part of the Purana, you will notice that it is part of the collective consciousness. That is, everybody knows this. And based on this, now they will try to bring it into art. Now they will try to bring it into Shilpa. They will try to bring it into some other kala. Say, they will bring it into Sangita. They will bring it into Natya. They will bring it into some kind of art form, which is probably more visual. Say something like embroidery. So in this way, you will notice that something that was not originally part of that specific Purana will invite more and more details from other places, and eventually it will start expanding, and it will become more and more elaborate and more beautiful. So this is a continuous live tradition. Purana used to be a continuous live tradition. Unfortunately, because of colonization times, we have realized that this Purana tradition could not be continued that much. So what has happened is, during the colonization times, we see that there is this standardization which they wanted to do. So we see that they wanted to create critical editions of books. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please don't worry. I'm actually talking about the activities that are done by researchers in the West, which was later introduced to the East. So this standardization, so when I have a textbook, I don't want to have different versions or different editions across the same country. So if I'm using a textbook in Tamil Nadu, I should have the same textbook in Jammu Kashmir. If I have a textbook in Assam, I should have the same textbook in Gujarat. That is the expectation. That is what they wanted. So the West wanted to standardize everything. They wanted only one monolithic thought process, one monolithic structure for everything. So it makes things easy. So when we have a same standard operating procedure across the entire institution, we see that everything becomes very easy to perform. So that is what they wanted to do. So in that process, what they did was they standardized, or they tried standardizing the textbook in the form of this Purana, this is the critical edition, or this is the Mahabharata critical edition. So critical edition is basically compiling information from different manuscripts and trying to see which one works very nicely. What fits properly will be considered, whatever does not fit will be removed. I'm not trying to say that this process is wrong. I'm saying that the consequence of this process is that now we no longer had it as a live tradition. So this what you call standardization or critical edition of this specific Purana, what it caused was people no longer wanted to add more chapters, add more shlokas, add more details in the text, which will make it more beautiful. So this was a consequence. Was this intended? Was it unintended? We do not really know. But what we can definitely say is that after the Purana stage, we see that something has changed. Now people no longer wanted to just work with Puranas. Now they wanted to have something else. So we see that maybe Kavya. I personally think that because of this what you call standardization of Puranas, people now wanted to add more to this literary corpus, that is the literature. When they wanted to add more to literature, they realized that they could not do it with Purana, so they moved to Kavya. So that's how you see some kind of expansion of Kavya literature. So just one moment, please. So this kind of shift towards Kavya seems to have created some kind of diversity in the way we are seeing the literature. So I'm not trying to belittle the works of great acharyas by calling it literature. What we should remember is we have so much of information, so much of wisdom. The only thing I'm saying is there are certain historical, what we call events, which have caused some kind of change in the way we have our own heritage. So we should always be open to the fact that these kind of historical events can have unintended consequences in this way. Anyway, let us move towards the Purana itself. So the text we are working with, or rather the summaries of the text I am dealing with, is the Narasimha Purana, which is an Upapurana. When we talk about Purana, we are supposed to be clear about the fact that there are 5 important lakshanas which are applicable to Purana. Lakshana meaning features. So when we talk about these lakshanas, there is a very well-known shloka which goes like this. It says, Sargascha pratisargascha vamsho manvantaranicha vamshanu charitam chaiva puranam panchalakshanam. There will be certain variations, but still, this is the standard shloka. This is the Lakshana Vakya for Purana. So what are these 5 important properties associated with the Purana? Sarga, Pratisarga, Vamsha, Manvantara, and Vamshanucharita. First one we have is Sarga. Sarga is basically related to something to do with Srishti, something like Sukshma Srishti. You can call it Sukshma Srishti. Pratisarga refers to something that is Sthula Srishti. It is, if you want to call Sarga as primary manifestation, Pratisarga could be secondary manifestation. Vamsha refers to the genealogy of Devatas, Rishis, Maharajas, Maharajas, all this will be given. Manvantara refers to the time calculations. They give you the cosmic time. What is the time of Manu? What is the time of Brahmadeva? What is the time of each Devata? All this will be given. So you will be introduced to the concept of the different terms we use for time. Then there is Vamshanucharita. In Vamshanucharita, we will see the introduction to certain specific narrations associated with each king. So you will have what we call legends and anecdotes, but they're not necessarily legends and anecdotes. They could probably be true as well. So some of them will be historically factual. So Vamshanucharita refers to these different narrations associated with usually human beings. They are usually Rajas and Maharajas. So typically you will notice that a few Rajas will have more chapters dedicated to their exploits, and a few kingdoms will have extra space given in the Purana. All of this has some kind of association with the specific region in which they found this manuscript. This is what people have understood. Anyway, when we talk about these Pancha Lakshanas of Puranas, we also see that the Bhagavata Purana talks about Dasha Lakshanas for the Mahapuranas. Therefore, we realize that Dasha Lakshanas is associated with Mahapuranas, and the Pancha Lakshanas is associated with Upapurana. We can just assume that this is what they're trying to say. Mahapuranas are described very beautifully in a few shlokas in the Bhagavata Purana. I'm not going to go there. It will take us in a different direction. Anyway, coming back to this Narasimha Purana, perhaps for today, I will talk about just 2 adhyayas so that you get a taste of what is there in the Upapurana of Narasimha Purana. So in the first adhyaya, we see that there is Sarga Nirupana, meaning that is the first step, that is the Srishti. Sukshma Srishti is going to be spoken about. So there are many rishis who are coming from different forests and mountains from across Bharata, who are coming to Prayaga for Snana in Magha Masa. So there is some kind of special Snana that is supposed to be done in Prayaga during Magha Masa. It's a special time. After Snana, Japa, and then Madhava Darshana. So there is a Vishnu Alaya, that is some Narayana Mandira is there. They're going and having Madhava Darshana, and then they're doing Pitru Tarpana. After that, they're seeing Bharadwaja Maharshi there. After some kind of exchange of respect, they sat down and they started speaking about the glorious Leelas of Krishna. So Sri Krishna Leela, they were enjoying Sri Krishna Leela. Then apparently Veda Vyasa's student, who is a Suta, who by the name of Loma Harshana, Roma Harshana, we see that there is both variations do exist in literature. After exchange of respect, this Loma Harshana or Roma Harshana was asked by Bharadwaja Rishi to narrate the Narasimha Purana Samhita. It is called Narasimha Purana Samhita, literally. So Samhita meaning it is a collection here, Narasimha Purana, something to do with Narasimha. Purana associated with Narasimha is called Narasimha Purana, and everything is collected together, therefore it is called Narasimha Purana Samhita. If you're someone who's read or studied basics of the Veda, you will notice that in the Veda we have something, a section known as the Samhita. So all these are collected mantras in the Veda. Here it is a collection of all of these different narrations. And Bharadwaja asks a series of questions regarding the contents of Purana, and then Suta is immediately interested in responding. So how he responds is, first he starts with paying respect to Vyasa and Sriman Narayana, and only then he starts narrating. So we realize that this Guru Vandanam is not something new to us. It is part of the culture. It is part of the Bharatiya Samskriti. And we see that Suta, before he starts with the narration of Narasimha Purana Samhita, or Narasimha Purana Samhita to be exact, first pays respect to Vyasa and Sriman Narayana. And he mentions that Sriman Narayana is the source of the universe. Everything is governed by him via forms such as Narasimha, etc. And then Sriman Narayana is the final destination. Then he starts talking about the Samanya Lakshanas of the Purana. And instead of saying Sarga, Pratisarga, he says Adi Sarga, Anusarga, Vamsha, Manvantara, Vamsha, Anusharita. All this we've already seen. So Sarga is Adi Sarga, Pratisarga is Anusarga here. These are synonyms used in the Narasimha Purana. And he says that Adi Sarga began with Sriman Narayana's Sankalpa. So the steps are like first Pradhana, that is Prakriti is there. From Prakriti we have Mahan, that Mahat. From that we have the Trigunatmaka things which are coming. From the Trigunatmaka, we have the Trigunatmaka Ahankara. So from Trigunatmaka Mahan, we get Trigunatmaka Ahankara. If you are paying attention to this, you probably, if you remember Sankhya Shastra before, you realize that this is basically a retelling of the Sarga, that is the Srishti, according to Sankhya Shastra. Of course, Sankhya is described in different forms in the Puranas. In different Puranas, we will see certain synonyms used. Sometimes there will be other concepts also introduced. So they talk about how eventually we have the Shabdata, the Tanmatras coming up, and then after that we also have the Indriyas being described. And all of these apparently created Anda. Anda, Pinda, Brahmanda, you probably have heard of this phrase. So this Anda is coming. Anda does not mean egg completely. It's actually a reference to the cosmic egg, the cosmic Anda. And then there is this imperceptible entry of Sriman Narayana into everything. That is, Sriman Narayana is supposed to be present in every creature, every being, and every element. And so Sriman Narayana is present as the, what we call, part of everything just when the Srishti is happening. When Srishti is happening, we see that Sriman Narayana has entered everything, and the entire universe is in the Anda, and he governs everything. This is described in the first chapter. In the second chapter, there is Sarga Rachana, that is, there is a description of Sarga based on time. And of course, the name of the chapter does not directly talk about time. Kala is not mentioned, but there is a description of Brahma's lifespan, what is Nimisha, what is Kashtha, what is Kala, what is Muhurta, and it goes on and on. It talks about Chatur Yuga, then it talks about the day of Brahma, and then it talks about Kalpa, Brahma Kalpa, Varaha Kalpa, and then with that, this specific chapter ends. So this gives us an idea of how they are taking it forward. So first they're talking about Sarga, then they're talking about Kala, and then we will see certain other details which are described in the following chapter. We will see the following chapters, I think more in number from the next session. Today I will stop here. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. Maybe after Shri Prabhav Mahodaya's presentation, I think experts can comment on what you have given. Thank you so much. Dhanyavadaha. Atithesya swagatartham asmakam krute ekaha garvitaha kshanaha. A warm welcome to Shri Prabhav Paturi, an expert in psychology and artificial intelligence, has passion for education, had taught at the MIT School of Vedic Sciences, and is currently leading strategic operations as Chanakya at Brahmana Studios, holds MSc Psychology and PG Diploma in Clinical Psychology, Renowned scholar Prabhav Mahodaya has presented research on Hindu feminism and Telangana's Kuruma Oggu tradition. Prabhav Mahodaya started his career as the chief clinical psychologist at Manoloka Holistic Wellness Clinic, now currently working on a comprehensive research series exploring the psychological aspects of Ayurveda. He will be presenting Mano Vijnanam to Pragna Kalpa, Artificial Intelligence from Ancient Wisdom. Swagata Mahodaya. Welcome.
Prabhavji, you can start.
Am I audible and visible? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Namaskaram ekam sarvam cha. So, adya aham prachina manovijnanat अन्वेषणं कथं गृहीत्वा कृत्रिमबुद्धिक्षेत्रे प्रयुक्तं शक्नुमः इति विषयं प्रस्तुतम् आहूतः अस्मि. So I'm going to talk about the topic where basically from taking from ancient wisdom or ancient scriptures can be applied to what is now being called as trendy and cool, which is artificial intelligence. So let me just share my screen. Today I don't have my webcam with me, so I'm just presenting it from my computer and camera both. Can you just enable my screen sharing? It says host visible participant screen sharing.
Is it possible to share your screen?
Let me just check. No, it still says host disabled participant screen share.
Sundrakrishnan ji, can you please enable him? Just a second.
Made him co-host. Now he can share.
Yeah, now you can.
Achha. Still it says the same thing. Should I exit and come back from the PC?
You are visible.
I'm
You are
visible, but
visible
I'm
and
unable
audible
to share
to me.
I'm unable to share my screen, sir. It's a presentation that I've prepared. I can talk about it, but without the visuals, it will not make much sense.
You have been made as a co-host, so you can share, I think.
I guess you have to give the co-host or something to the Prabhav PC participant.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sundrakrishnan
Prabhav,
ji.
na? Yeah, I have already given it. Prabhav PC or Prabhav?
Both? Okay.
Prabhav,
Okay,
Prabhav
I'm
PC.
making
You
Prabhav
make.
PC also co-host.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm able to share. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Everybody is able to see my screen,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this is basically my topic, Mano Vijnanam to Pragna Kalpa. Here, Pragna Kalpa, we took it, me and Vaishali ji had a small discussion about this, and we took it in the sense of, era. That is, Mano Vijnanam is the Prachina or ancient psychology, this thing. Then Pragna Kalpa is era of artificial intelligence, and AI from ancient wisdom, whatever ancient things we have. Right, so based on that it goes, and this is basically the table of contents. This is how the presentation is going to be presented. Here we have mind and AI, where I'm going to basically 2 slides for each. Indian psychology defines the mind and its relation to AI. And then there is philosophy and AI, where I'm going to discuss how ancient philosophies like Sankhya and Vedanta inspire AI's cognitive function. And then ethics and AI, where basically I'm going to discuss karma-related philosophy and how we can learn from that and apply it to the actual AI ethics today. Because ethics of AI is a very important topic that many people keep bringing up. So that's that. Let me just my screen around a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as you can see in this particular slide, what I wanted to explore here was bridging ancient wisdom and AI. So in this particular thing, we'll be exploring how Indian psychology, especially Vedic psychology, intersects with modern AI technology. Just as ancient Indian sages explored the depths of the mind and consciousness, within artificial intelligence also, we seek to replicate, some cognitive functions of the human brain, and we try to make the computer intelligent, right? Basically, that's how it works. But then nobody has probably thought about this, that we already have something similar, a discussion, something that is already there within our Mano Vijnanam Shastra, wherein we have ancient insights into how the mind works, and there are valuable lessons for modern AI. So through this presentation, I'll try to merge these two worlds, where timeless wisdom, meets cutting edge technology, basically. And okay, so coming to the mind and AI, the cognitive connection that we see between how mind works or how this works in ancient Indian philosophy or ancient Indian psychology, our mind has been broken down into these particular parts, right? Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chitta. These are the 4 parts. Manas basically governs the thought processes, right? And Buddhi represents decision-making abilities. And Ahankara stands for self-awareness or ego. And Chitta is the storehouse of memories, right? Chitta is where we have the consciousness also, and it also actually is the storehouse of memories. Interestingly, these elements, they mirror the components of modern AI systems, right? Neural networks, which are the backbone of AI, wherein everybody these days are talking about neural networks and how they perform and what happens in that. So within those tasks, there are similar things within AI also, within artificial intelligence also. Just like we have the Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chitta within the traditional realm, in the AI we have tasks like processing data, making decisions, recalling, and information. Right? They are similar. Right? So this ancient breakdown of the mind gives us a framework within which we can better understand how AI functions at a cognitive level. And again, here I'm not talking about just the cognitive processes like, actually thinking or thinking about something. I'm talking about there is visual cognition when we actually see something. And then there is, auditory cognition when we hear something. So all that is processing of information. So these days, what we are calling that is multimodal AI, right? It has many features. It can actually generate images for you. It can talk with you. It can identify what is there within an image or a video, right? It is able to do all these functions, and it is able to do because they have broken it down into different tasks. In the same way, if we apply this particular concept of Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chitta on AI, probably there is something to be explored there, and then we can take it forward. AI is actually performing today like, similar to a assistant, and in the future it may be able to perform if we give AI these tools, right? How Manas functions, or how Buddhi functions, and how Ahankara is there, and how Chitta is there. If at least probably we can just give it a proper Chitta, because currently it is mostly dependent on CPU related memory and decision making and all that. So if we can give it a Chitta like ours, right, our type of Chitta, then that is a huge help or takes a huge leap. And that's where AI jumps forward into the future, and probably that's where computer scientists needs to look at, right? And then coming to philosophy and AI, there is dualism, right, in action. And within dualism, again, I'm going to cover this small topics, Purusha and Prakriti, which we already know, but from the perspective of consciousness and matter, and not from the perspective of just Prakriti Purusha as Deva Devi. And in Telugu, we say Ayyavaru Ammavaru, right? Not just from the aspect of that, but as consciousness and as matter. Basically, they're Tattvika Rupa, right? And that I can take from Sankhya philosophy, wherein there is this balanced view of raw material, how data is inputted and all that. So in Sankhya philosophy, the relationship basically exists between Purusha, which represents the proper consciousness or the actual rise of intellect within us. And then there is Prakriti, the material world, where it offers whatever we have. So I am interacting as the Purusha with the Prakriti around me. That is how Sankhya looks at the world, right? It offers a profound analogy for understanding AI, wherein Purusha can be seen as the algorithm in AI, right? The algorithm is the actual thing that is making decisions for AI, right? So that is where AI comes in, and the intelligent force, I can call it intelligent force, and that is the algorithm that is working, and that is similar to the Purusha. And then there is Prakriti also within AI, which represents the raw data that is inputted into the AI. All AI models, they work on this basis where we give it data, and based on that data only gives us answers, right? And in the forward slides, I'll show you how that can lead to biases as well, right? So just as Purusha and Prakriti need to interact for creation and experience, algorithms and data, they must work in synchronicity, basically, right? And they must work together for AI to learn and make decisions. This dualism in philosophy gives us an early model for what AI strives to replicate, how it tries to replicate this particular thing, right? Our brain or our intelligence. An intelligent system that processes raw inputs to create meaningful outcomes is the ultimate goal or achievement that we want to or need to see from AI, right? That's that. And then this is basically a quote from Amrita Bindu Upanishad, wherein they say the mind alone is the cause of bondage and liberation, right? So by giving computers probably a mind, we are causing them bondage and we are asking them to get liberated, right? Just a food for thought, you can ponder upon this. And then coming to training the AI mind, right? Here I'm bringing in principles not from Sankhya, but from Yoga. So the Yoga Sutras, they offer this particular mental discipline, right? They give us that mental discipline practices, especially practices like, say, Dharana and practices like Dhyana. All these improve our cognitive abilities, all these improve our concentration skills. If someone can replicate those things and train the AI algorithm based on those type of functions, say how to reserve itself, how to lessen its consumption of power through probably something similar to what we as humans do as pratyahara, right? And then go into dharana, and then enter dhyana, right? Those are the phases probably the AI mind also can go into. Okay, dharana is like the training phase where AI systems, they learn to focus on specific tasks. Basically, if some task is given to the computer or the AI system, the AI algorithm, it has to be trained on it. There is a human phase, human interaction phase also. So dharana is something similar, which we take from ourselves or learn from yoga and yoga. And in jhana, it probably represents the optimization phase. There is within AI, there is also something called optimization, where AI can actually start working for us better and better itself without our interaction with it. So jhana is something probably similar to it. It is optimization is the AI's jhana, I would say. And that is why replicating these concepts into the realm of artificial intelligence, it works so much more better. And this ancient practice or these powerful insights from all these ancient philosophies, we can use them to better AI, is the thought, right? And then there is, as I said previously, just like we have biases, AI also can get biases because of the data it has, right? Based on the data it has been fed, there is bias within it. So in ancient Indian psychology, there is kleshas, as we all know, and they represent afflictions that the mind has, that the mind has, right? They are clouding basically the mind, and they are avidya, which is ignorance, and there is asmita, which is ego, and then there is raga, which is attachment, and then there is vesha, which is aversion, and then there is abhinivesha, which is fear. If we actually make an AI model have the 4 parts of the mind, manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta, it may also get these kleshas. So these are similar to the cognitive biases that we are currently getting by the data being input. That's the reason people keep saying, you know, there is all this discussion that whether AI is actually representing the trainer's views or its views, right? It is actually representing the trainer's views. So anybody who is making a dharmic AI, right, or trying to make a dharmic AI, they can probably try to reduce the bias by using these concepts, right? These concepts are very similar to the actual biases that AI models have. And such models actually are called corrupt models. So coming back to us as humans, I'm seeing this as, you know, if someone is too much into any of this, right? Every one of us has this, but if someone is too much into ignorance, too much into ego, too much into attachment, too much into aversion or fear, then we are also a corrupt model. So there is, you know, just like an AI can be trained, and the corruption can be moved from it by inputting the right data, by practicing things like maybe, you know, whatever, however we feel it. Say, for example, as a practitioner of yoga, I may do pratyahara, dharana, pranayama, whatever, right? And someone else may do something like puja. Someone else may practice some other tantrika worship, whatever, right? So by doing that, we can remove the corruption from us and make us a better model, right? That is two-way road here with AI. And then we have the karma and AI ethics. Right? There is the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect. It applies to AI in the form of ethical responsibility. How and why does AI need ethics, or how does AI work with ethics is principle where AI has to stand and give the answer to someone in the future, maybe even work as a representative of someone. If it has any sort of ethical, unethical, or immoral thoughts, then it is very dangerous for the person operating that particular AI system. Right? So when we design, people like me, at least, I'm not into the proper coding design part of it. I work as the, you know, tuner of it from the psychology side. But when we design AI systems, the algorithms must be created basically with accountability, ensuring that their decisions are transparent and responsible. That's where I can even say that in the future, I am envisioning such a future where even AI will have karma, or karma-based ethical laws and principles, right? So that is being input into AI as the data. And just as humans are held accountable for their actions, AI systems must also be designed to consider the long-term consequences of their decisions. In the future, maybe AI will be even running machines, doing something else, right? So when it has to make such decisions, it has to go through a system wherein it feels like a filter, where it can go through the filter of karma, maybe, right? So such a system can be designed, and it is being implemented already. And the responsibility that it has to take, or the effect of the relationship between action and consequence, that has to be there, right? So making AI understand these will lead to a more ethical AI. And then integrating this ancient wisdom for future AI, wherein we have ancient Indian psychology that identifies kleshas, that identifies, you know, many other things as we previously discussed. These mirror the biases in AI, which must be systematically identified and eliminated for accurate decision making. That's one part of it, where we can use AI, where we can use ancient wisdom to improve AI. And then the second part is making it understand the consequences, wherein it has the results within it, and it can filter itself and come up with a more ethical AI, right? That's the second use of AI. And the third most important probably use is actually viewing itself as the Purusha and the data as Prakriti. So if someone can integrate such knowledge into the AI, that works very, very well, right? The structured models of the mind and lessons in mental discipline and the ethical frameworks from karma, they all offer valuable guidance. by integrating these timeless insights, right? We can shape AI to not only be more efficient, but also more conscious and ethical in its decisions. Just as ancient wisdom has endured for millennia, these lessons can help AI grow in ways that benefit humanity as a whole. If we are going to be operating or letting AI take over our tasks, we must look into this kind of a model where it begins and ends with ancient or timeless insights, so that it can stay with us. It can actually improve our life instead of we actually getting dependent on it. And that ends my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. Any questions or feedback from the viewers?
Namaste, Prabhavji. That was very insightful. The way you explained, comparing with so everything. I just have one question. So you said in future, if it has chitta, that's consciousness, like what we humans have, then won't it be, will AI be competing with the humans? Like what we have seen in the robot, that's Rajnikant movie, like when with AI, the robots and everything having its own chitta, consciousness, and then the life will become chaotic, right? Then AI will take control of us.
So to avoid that, that is the reason that we have to design an AI system which does not have these cognitive biases. And that is why I brought in the topic of kleshas. So it can learn from us to avoid kleshas and live a healthier, better life, right? Although it does not have technically no life, it is kritrima. But then if it has to compete with humans in the future, or in fact, we are actually going in that direction. Believe it or not, the companies that I work with, they develop AI systems. So where I am working, we are currently seeing a multi-modal AI, which is able to recognize things from video. So if it is able to recognize, we are trying to give it optic lens eyes. So once it is able to actually see the world and interact with the world very easily by taking in the data, inputting that and outputting it, avoiding kleshas, avoiding cognitive biases is very, very important, right? Without that, it will definitely lead to, as that movie has shown, some apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah. And actually, I don't see it as a healthy thing to have this much of advanced AI system in our society also. Because when that is good, there is equally or bad is also, element is also there. As you said, if you want to impart all this unbiased system in AI, there will be a group who wanted to impart all the biased in their AI. Correct? So this clash is... So this clash will definitely happen between the good and bad.
That is the problem I'm trying to solve, Vaishaliji, is that within AI also, the companies that employ me, I am there only to assist them with this particular thought or logic, wherein instead of actually being scared of the technology, I am trying to embrace it from, taking insights from the ancient period, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. And hopefully that works and that leads to a better AI system in the future. But we can...
I do have a doubt, like you may be a Deva kind of person, but Asuras who are learning this technology.
See, we are creating, it's our Srishti, we become the God. Now.
So, Sundara Krishnan ji has asked some question, I think, not possible to attain by say 99% of people unless they follow meditation and other sadhanas. Whereas now it is widely advertised and taught. Do you agree it is possible to learn that?
Yeah,
not at all.
The question was put up by our Ramki Mama, Ramakrishnan Mama. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Ramakrishna ji's question. Okay. So Ramakrishna ji, it is definitely not possible, right, to completely make AI as someone like us. And even for people, it is quite hard. As I said, there are people who are currently thinking like a corrupt AI system. So they have to let go of their kleshas by doing sadhana. So not at all easy. It is definitely a difficult task. Probably not an insurmountable mountain that we are climbing. It is surmountable. Definitely it can be scaled quite easily. But then that is where, just like the AI needs a trainer to tune it to particular things, we also need a guru. And coming from a guru parampara myself, I definitely fall at the feet of my guru to let me get those things easily. That would be my answer.
Thank you, Ji. That was very nice to interact
Yeah,
with you.
Kala Ramanujam, you have raised your hand. If you have any question, you can ask.
Real namaste. I don't have questions because to have a question, you should be conversant with the subject that is being taught or discussed. So my expression is that a guru, a living master, can do anything to you, can raise you up to any level if we are receptive. This is my experience as a practitioner of yoga. So like a dumb person like me can experience something which is being told in now you understand some words here and there. Oh, this is my experience, not my knowledge, because I don't know anything about the scriptures. But in experience, I, without any knowledge about the words or the terms, technical terms, but I can relate with them. So if a live master, if you are in constant touch with a living master, anything is possible. And the guru should choose you, not you choosing the guru. It's Bhagavad Sankalpa. That's all I can say. I just wanted to express my gratitude towards my guru at this juncture. So as Prabhavji said, I fall at the feet of my guru, and I'm so happy to be in this session. And I know Visali knows me. I'm a very lazy person. I don't attend this session regularly. Somewhere like a balloon, I attend the session, and I happen to be the Bhagyashali. Thank you. Prabhuji and Kidambi, Abhinav Kidambi Mahodaya. I cannot express in words what I got today. Like-minded people, and the Samskrita Bharatyaha Lakshyam tu Sambhashanataha Shastra Paryantam iti asti. That I can see this here. It's really a dream come true. People who are well versed in Sanskrit and our scriptures and the modern technology. It is a very rare combination, and I'm so happy today because very sorry the expression is extending. I recently read, maybe it is a very old WhatsApp message. Somebody said in Britain or London or somewhere, Sanskrit is made compulsory in a school. And I forwarded to everybody, and they said, oh, great, we are very happy. I said, no, I'm not happy. Somebody else is making Sanskrit compulsory. Here we are struggling to make people read Sanskrit, study Sanskrit, speak in Sanskrit. But so I was actually in tears when I read the message. So at this juncture, I'm happy that there are people who are well versed in modern science and also our Purana Sanskrit. I'm so happy. Thank you. No words to express my happiness. Thank you very much.
And also implementing our ancient knowledge in modern technology, which is more important, like what Prabhuji is doing. So we are so happy, Prabhuji, to see what you are doing. Thank you so much for taking your
for
time.
giving the opportunity. And through grace of Ma, probably I'll be presenting some other time again with a new topic,
Sure,
hopefully.
Definitely. We would like to hear more from you. Thank you. Mathangi, you can continue.
Dhanyavadaha, Prabhavji. Only one thing I want to know, this artificial intelligence is a new topic for me also. Can a lie or a wrong thing or a negative thing can be portrayed as the truth? And we will feel that a lie can be portrayed as truth through this. Will we be able to identify which is truth or which is lie? I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know much about
So,
this.
actually, the problem here is that there are many AI systems which are already biased, right? So, yeah, these AI systems that are biased, there are meta AI systems which are trying to detect the faithfulness, is what they are calling it, of the actual AI system. And the using those meta AI systems, we are trying to build exactly what you have said, wherein we are trying to detect fake news, lies, catch all that. And because based on the news that we publish, right, AI takes that data and outputs the fake narrative. So that's a big, huge problem within the field of AI. And to counter that, meta AI systems are being created. And I am working with a company which works at both levels. They are trying to build a meta AI system as well as a specific AI system for gaming design, basically. So that is my job as a strategist at that company. And very creatively, they have named the role as Chanakya. Uh, so that's where I'm working.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much. Swagatam Sundarakrishna Ji for Dhanyavada Gyapan.
Namaskaram to everyone and all. I thank you for insisting upon me the opportunity of giving vote of thanks for this wonderful event. First of all, I wish to thank our Visali ji for coordinating and executing such a beautiful event every month. This is awesome. Also welcoming all the guests. Visali ji, you have done a very good job, very wonderful work. And we wish you continue to do it for years together to bring such a personalities like Abhinav ji and our Sushrutha ji, like so many people. You have I, on behalf of Samskrita Vani, express to thank Kumari A. Navneetha for singing prayer in her melodious voice. Always she used to be. Navneetha, God bless you. We wish you always come to our program more, again and again and sing for us. We also thank Sri Ramakrishnan Mamaji for the wonderful Subhashitam he always do. The way Dr. Sushrutha explained Bhagavad Gita is always awesome. We express our thanks and gratitude to him for sparing time for us in between his busy schedule. We also express our thankfulness to Shri Abhinav Kidambi for nicely explaining the Panch Lakshanas of the Puranas and the evolution of the Puranas, how it becomes and how the additions or omissions are made in that, and also effectively introducing the Narasimha Purana. We eagerly look forward to listen the full Puranas from you in coming weeks. We thank Kumari Snigda Shankar for beautifully reciting the Kamakshi Shlokas. Thank you, Snigda. We expect you to perform in our other events also, like Jnanavula and other programs also regularly. The latest talk of the world is artificial intelligence, that is AI. But it already existed in our ancient wisdom, which was known as Mano Vijnanam. Mano Vijnanam to Pragna Kalpa, that is AI. What a thoughtful topic. Visali ji, a wonderful topic you have given to a wonderful person, Mr. Prabhav Paturi. He delivered it with a wonderful, splendid presentation. I loved that presentation also. The PowerPoint presentation also go with, I think he made it with the help of AI. It was such a wonderful presentation. It gives us the visual, we can visualize that effect, what you are explaining. It was very wonderful. And Kala Madam has already given her thoughtful feelings, how we felt about listening to you and visualizing the AI. So wonderful, sir. We request you to come to us again with new way of explaining this artificial intelligence, how it improves, how it progresses. We are eagerly waiting for you. Mathangi Suresh, she has become an expert in anchoring. in any meeting and in any language, whether it is Tamil, English, or Sanskrit. Mathangi ji, hats off to you. We thank you so much. You are a very helping hand in our all programs, not only Samskrita Vani, whether it is Tamil Genius, whether it is Choral for Management, whether it is Jnanaula. Hats off to you. On behalf of Samskrita Vani, we thank our Sivakumar Anna who couldn't able to attend today because of some domestic problem. She always coordinate this program very excellently. Anna, thank you very much. On behalf of Samskrita Vani, thanks all the participants of this event on Zoom and also who are viewing it on YouTube. It is your participation and your comments and the motivation boost us to work together more and more and bring this event lively and bring more and more speakers to this event. Thank you, all of you. Once again, I thank all together. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dhanyawadaha Sundrakrishnan ji for the wonderful vote of thanks. Thank you so much. Shanti Mantra. Visali.
Yeah. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyawadaha Visali ji.
Shubhratri.
Dhanyawadaha Sarvesham Pratibhaginam. We end today's program with a phrase. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. May all stay healthy, free from diseases. Dhanyawadaha. Shubharatri.